The claim that the first mass in the Philippines was held in Limasawa is unsubstantiated and lacks sufficient evidence. While the evidence supporting Masao, Butuan, as the location of the first mass is stronger and more credible. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow debaters and judges, I stand before you today as a member of the negative team to refute the claim that the first mass in the Philippines was held in Limasawa. Our team argues that the evidence supporting Masao, Butuan, as the location of the first mass is stronger and more credible. I will present our evidence in the following points. The primary source on the first mass in the Philippines is Antonio Pigafetta's journal, which recorded Ferdinand Magellan's voyage. In Pigafetta's account, there is no mention of Limasawa, but he described the place where the first mass was held as a big island with a large river and many boats. These descriptions match Masao in Butuan, which has a large river and was a known trading center at the time. The word mass was not yet in use during the time of Magellan voyage. In Pigafetta's journal, he used the word celebration or feast instead of mass. The term mesa or mesa only appeared in the Spanish version of Pigafetta's journal, which was published in the 18th century, long after the event occurred. Furthermore, the word Limasawa has no meaning in the Visayan language, while the name Masao has a clear meaning in the local language as a river mouth, which further supports the claim that the first mass was held in Masao. The Portuguese explorer Duarte Barbosa's account of his travels in Southeast Asia in the early 16th century mentions a powerful ruler named Raja Saya who ruled over the island of Butuan. Pigafetta's journal also described the presence of a local ruler who welcomed Magellan's arrival in Masao. In contrast, there is no historical record of any significant event or person in Limasawa during that time. Now, let me address the potential arguments of the opposing team. They may argue that Limasawa's claims is supported by the National Historical Commission of the Philippines marker that commemorates the event. However, a historical marker is not proof of an event's occurrence but rather an interpretation of history. Moreover, the Commission has also acknowledged that the evidence for the Limasawa claim is not conclusive. The opposing team may also argue that the Spanish historian Antonio de Morga's account supports the Limasawa claim. However, de Morga's account was written more than 50 years after the event occurred and relies heavily on second-hand information. In contrast, Pigafetta's journal is a first-hand account of the event recorded as it happened. In conclusion, the evidence supporting Masao, Butuan, as the location of the first mass in the Philippines is stronger and more credible than the Limasawa claim. The historical context, linguistic evidence, and documentary evidence all point to Masao as the probable site of the first mass. Thank you.
And now I will present additional evidence to support our team's claims that the first mass in the Philippines was held in Masao and not in Limasawa. So the archaeological findings support the claim that Masao was a major training center during the pre-colonial period, with trade connections reaching as far as China and India. In 1978, a group of archaeologists discovered several Chinese ceramics and other artifacts in Masao, which dated back to the 10th century. This finding indicates that Masao was already an established trading center long before Magellan's arrival. further supporting the claim that it was the site of the first mass in the Philippines. In contrast, there is no archaeological evidence supporting the Limasawa. Despite numerous archaeological studies conducted in the area, no artifacts or evidence of significant colonial activity have been found in Limasawa. This lack of evidence undermines the claim that the first mass was held in Limasawa. But Limasawa is located in southern Leyte, which is far from the trade routes that Magellan and his crew were following. In contrast, Masao is located in Butuan, a known center of trade and commerce during that time. It is more likely that Magellan and his crew would have stopped in a major trading center like Butuan rather than a remote island to Limasawa. Moreover, the geography of Limasawa does not match Pegafetta's descriptions of the location of the first mass. Limasawa does not have a large river or a deep harbor, which make it an unlikely location for a significant event like the first mass. The claim that the first mass in the Philippines was held in Limasawa is relatively recent and was only popularized in the 20th century. In contrast, the claim that the first mass was held in Masao has been mentioned in several historical documents dating back to the 17th century, including the account of Francisco Alcina, a Jesuit missionary who lived in the Philippines during the 16th and 17th century. This historical narrative suggests that the Limasawa claim may have been a fabrication or a misinterpretation of history. In contrast, the Masao claim has a longer and more consistent historical record, which adds credibility to its validity. The opposing team may argue that the presence of a chapel in the Masawa supports their claim. However, the existence of a chapel does not necessarily prove that the first Mass was held there. It is possible that the chapel was built long after the event occurred, or that it was built for a different purpose altogether. Moreover, the chapel in Limasawa does not match Pegafetta's descriptions of the location of the first Mass. As I mentioned earlier, Pegafetta described the location as a big island with a large river and many boats, which does not match the geography of Limasawa. The opposing team may also argue that the linguistic evidence in the inclusive. However, as I pointed out earlier, the name Masao has a clear meaning in the local language, while the name Limasawa does not. The linguistic evidence adds further weight to the Masao claim. In conclusion, our team's evidence, including the documentary, linguistic, archaeological, geographic, and historical events, supports the claim that the first mass in the Philippines was held in Masao and not in Limasawa. Thank you.